In this video, we'll learn how to use XD to make a simple design. If you have not watched the first video and have no prior knowledge or background on XD or any Adobe graphics software, you might find what I'm covering here a little bit tough, though actually it's not tough at all. Please watch the first video first, and then this video will be really fruitful to you. The basic of XD is just 15 minutes long. This video will do a UI design for mobile phone with all the basic tools. We will also learn how to manipulate them. We will be looking into this fantastic tool called Repeat Grid, which is one of XD's most impressive features. Lastly, we'll export our UI design into image files to send to clients. So let's go! XD is a vector-based tool, but you can import bitmap graphics into it. So I will start with a blank canvas. I'm going to design a wireframe for cafe menu, which I'll start from scratch. Okay, this cafe menu will have a background, but I will start by using these square tools. As you can see, I click on this square box, and when I bring over to my artboard, it will actually snap, and I will drag it to around this height, 300 pixel height. There we go. So this will be a big background picture which will have a text across it. I will use a text tool to lay on top and bring it to the center. I'll call it Cafe Mykonos, and this is the feature dishes. Centralize the text and change the font to the font that I want. I will use a Stone Sans standard with a bow. That's more like it. And turn it into medium. And let's increase the font size as well to 36. And this will sit on this background picture. The next item I'm going to draw is the card, and they will have those horizontal scrolling through card where it will feature the picture of the dishes as well as the name of the dishes and maybe the recommended chef or some profile pictures with the name on it. So let's draw them. I'll use this square tool as well, and I want it to overlap a bit with the background. So let me just draw this through, and it should be about half. Let's bring out the grid by clicking this. There we go. This layout, and typically I'll use a 6 column. I don't need that much space at the side. Let's say 15 will do. Okay, this is a 6 column system, and I can occupy up to 3 columns each. Let's go back to this, select this tool. This will be my card, and I want it to have a bit of radius at the side, maybe a 5 pixel radius to give it a card feeling, and the picture will sit on it. The picture will give it to the top radius as 5 as well, and that's the right radius 5 as well. That will be where the picture sits. And let's fix the height. It should be 130 is good, or 125. 125 is good. And I will put in the text for the dishes. Name of the dishes. And this has to be way smaller. And it will be left aligned and sits in card itself. Turn down the text size to smaller and make it wrap around. So that will do. Alright, I'll decrease the height, which is the leading, to, let's try with 18. 18 looks maybe 20. Okay. And I realized that the cut is actually small, too small. Maybe I should increase the length, the height of it to 220. That looks good about it. And let's drop a circle so that we can put in the chef picture into it. It should be about 30 pixels. And the name of the chef. Name of the chef. It can be as small as 12 points. And then I'll turn this into wrap text as well in case for longer text chef names. And this decrease to 14 as well. So I have my first cut ready, and I want it to fill up, used up to the column space. And I select these two items and turn it into, increase this to 1. Maybe I should just drag this. Yeah, that will do. So that fills up 3 columns. Once I have this, I want it to scroll horizontally, maybe up down to 6 items. So when I click on this repeat grid, it will show me this. I can actually just duplicate the item by dragging this out, maybe to 6 different. Then I'll just leave it as horizontal. I can also change the margin in between to match the size. So that's about 9. Once I'm done with the repeat grid, if I want it to turn it into horizontal scroll, I have to click on this so that it knows that it's a horizontal scroll. And you notice that XD is smart enough to know where it's finished, scrolling at the edge of the screen, but we also have to fix the start to here, to the left edge, so that it will scroll through the left edge. Let's do a quick preview by clicking on this demo. Okay, as you can see, we can scroll through in this sense. Okay, that's repeat grid for you. The next thing we are going to look at is to create a button so that we can use it as component. In this design, I will first create the button style, which will be something like this, 40 pixel height. And I want it to be rounded edges. So this should be fully rounded edges. But there will be 2 styles. One is fully filled with the color. Without any border. Let me just find out more. This should be centralized and caps, and it should be bold. And it should be bigger font at 14. Let me centralize this. With the button, you can simply do this by clicking here and here. Okay, let's fix the height a bit. Right, that's about it. And change the font color to white. That's one style. And another style would be the passive button. I will just hold on to this alternate to duplicate a style, which will be cancel. But the cancel, I want it to be in a passive button style, which is not so, it should be in gray, and instead of fill, it should be border instead, in this sense. I have these two button style created, and I want to turn them into component. I simply select them, select the button, and then click plus component. So XD will create a reusable component for me. I can rename the component as main button style. And the second one, which is this set, and then plus, and create the next passive button style. Okay, I can reuse this component in my other artboard by simply clicking on this. So when I click on this, you will notice that there's a diamond shape on top left corner of this resizable, which means that this is the main component. This is the master component. Any editing that you done here, it will reflect in the sub component. Let's try to create some more artboard. I'll choose this. This is the second artboard, and I'm going to reuse the same component. Say this main component style. I can simply drag it here and drop it here. So this should be my book now. And I will have a book now page. So this will be the main page picture, the main dish picture. With this, I can reuse this, the main header, but I want it to be really small. So let me turn this down to 18. And it should sit on top. And the name of my dishes, I'll simply just take one of it and copy, and I'll paste it in my second artboard as an independent item. But I just want to feature the food. Name of the dishes without changing the layout much. Let me just bring this back down. Up there, and the picture of the dishes, I want it to match here. Anything I change here, let's say I want it to match this font. Anything I change to the master, it will reflect in all the buttons that I use in other artboard as well. This is global editing for you. The next part we are looking at is the layer. Layer, you have to toggle this by the lower left bottom of the screen. And this will bring out the layer. And you can simply click on the artboard that you want to change and to see which layer are they. Then you can see how the layer is being ordered. This is the top, followed by the ellipse, and followed by this. The bottom is this main style, or this. I can simply swap the order over. Let's say I want to bring this up into the together with the chef. I can swap the order by dragging them. And as I select which layer, it will select the items. This is pretty much like the rest of Adobe's software, Photoshop and Illustrator. And this will be very useful when you have a lot of layer after layers of stuff. Now let's say I want to complete the design of my first artboard. The page should not be just this short. I should put in more items, like maybe there should be a separator image at about 120, and then it should have some image, some message. Where I find that the page is not long enough, no issue, I can just increase this. This is where the screen ends, and further down it will just simply scroll. I will put in some text or feature. And I will have some component like my standard the hamburger menu. And I'm happy with this, I'll simply group them together. And I want the whole page to move except this menu. Okay, let's put them in a box. And let's go back to the layering so that we can while the whole page scroll through, I want this item to fix position on top, okay, so that it stays. And I want this to be in the next page as well. So I'll simply select two items and then just have it drag over to the next artboard. And it's fixed position while scrolling as well. Let me shift everything down a little. Let's do a quick preview on this to see if our things works. Okay, our hamburger menu, and as we scroll, as you can see, it fixed at that position. And we can scroll horizontally as well. So this is how you do basic design in Adobe XD. Next, we are going to drop some pictures and content into our design. At this point of time, our wireframe is ready. Let's say we want to further develop and put in the pictures and change the color of the text to see how it actually looks like. Okay, let me turn off the grid so that we can see clearer. I'll double click on the artboard and let's turn out the layout. Okay, this is our wireframe. I have prepared some assets picture that I download from Pixel. There will be some food pictures for my cafe, as well as some Mediterranean themes background, since this is the Mediterranean cafe. And some selfie picture which I'll use as the chef picture as well as customers review. Okay, the power of XD for this repeat grid is you can simply select the pictures, the bunch of pictures that you want, and then drop it into the items. Okay, the box where it's supposed to fit, and it will auto-populate into the continuous items all the way until the end. Okay, this is the good thing about XD. And you can also change, let's put in another text. Let's put in the chef picture as well by using some selfie picture. 6 or 7 of them. I just drag and drop it into this tiny circle. As you can see, it auto-populate as well. And this, you can use this feature not only for pictures, you can also drop it in text. Let's say I have this bunch of chef name, which looks like this. There's 6 of them. I just made it up. I made up some chef names so that we can use it, drop it into the name. So this is a text file, chefname.txt. I will simply just drag the text file and drop it in the name. As you can see, it auto-populate in this as well. I notice that my chef name is a bit high compared to the icon. I can change it here by simply shift the first one, and the rest of the items will follow in the repeat grid. So I can simply edit it and it will change. I don't have the name of the dishes ready, so I'll just leave it as it is. Let me dump in some pictures as the background as well for this. And I want to change my card to make it look slicker by removing the edge. So I'll select the first item and remove the border. I'll remove the main border as well. I'll use a drop shadow to have it shown that it's actually the edge. And this should be 1 and this should be maybe 10. Blur to make it subtle. So as you can see, this is our card design. Let's finish it by dropping a few more pictures in. So we can also edit the size, shift the position. Okay, remove the border as well. Customer picture 1 and 2. This is not a repeat grid, so it will not show. So this one I will just edit this and make it bigger. Or simply replace with another one. This looks nicer. Okay, remove the border as well and drop a hint shadow. So this is how it is. Let's preview this. As you can see, it scroll through horizontally and you can scroll through vertically as well. That is how you do design in XD. I've gone further ahead to finish out my design of the second page. So I'm happy with this design now and I would like to export the assets out for preview for my client. I can simply go to File, Export, or Artboards, which will bring me through this menu. Design will be based on the design that I have done. Let me throw it on the desktop. Export all artboard. It simply exports both of the design into PNG file. So that's how you export the preview in XD. In the next video, we'll explore a little bit deeper using external resources like the UI design component or the wireframe kit, making some really cool effects. We'll also be making buttons with mouse over effect or hovering state and link up different pages. So see you in the next video.